Go ahead. No, I don't
go
wanna...
ahead. You've got the question.
I wanted to ask about Twitter, because yours is like pretty funny on occasionally. It's like a mix, and it's kind of like been a mixed blessing because a lot of people I feel like who didn't know you on Idol that well then saw on Twitter that you're actually a really funny guy, and then it's also kind of how really.
I mean, it's like.
I
don't know. It's not like you think of what can I say that's funny.
No, I know that's
clever,
the best part. I think that's the best part. The people that are trying are not the ones that are funny, I think. But and so, but it's also kind of been like a platform to be able to just like communicate directly at reply like every single fan or defend yourself or everything like that. Like, have you seen it as sort of like a mixed blessing, or how do you?
Yeah,
view
it's
it?
definitely been. It's been interesting because now it's like people constantly. Before it was like, okay, I'm gonna try and get a blog up once a week, and now it's like constant updates. It's like, it's once a week. That's not enough now. It's like every day, even though I try to take Sundays off. But it's
Do you read all those? Do you go back and read like all the people that reply to you?
It's hard sometimes, because I mean, it's not. I don't get as many as like the Jonas Brothers and Justin Bieber and stuff like that, and Demi, and but there's still a lot. It's like sometimes you'll like leave it open for a little bit. You like go like get some water and then you'll come back and it's like to refresh. They're like 560 new. It's like you can't look at all of them, because especially when you say something, when the minute they know you're there, then you get more and more and then you can't keep up with them. But if you just like look at one, when you haven't been there for a while and you're looking at them, like the recent ones, I mean, a lot of times you just look at what people are saying, and you don't always respond to them because when you do, then everyone wants you to respond. But it's fun to see what other people have to say too. But sometimes you feel like, okay, I'll respond to as many as I can for now, just so they know that you are reading them.
Yeah, it used
but
to
like
be...
whether I am responding or not, I am looking at them. It's just sometimes it's nice to look at them without people knowing, so they don't, so they're not trying to get your attention. Then you can't read them because there's so many.
In the pre-Twitter world, did you pay attention to what your fans? Because it's like easier now. It's replying at you. Did you actually go and like look at fan sites before Twitter, before that kind of stuff, and pay attention to it, or were you kind of blind to it then?
When I would post blogs, I would look at I still post blogs. Look at the comments because a lot of times I'll ask questions. Yeah. So I'll ask people, what do you think of this, or what did you do, and stuff like that. So you have to look at what people are saying, and a lot of times it's good to look at what people's opinions are about things, because they're the ones who are there and listening and responding to what you have, and their voice matters.
Do you think like because some of your fans are younger, but there's also like an older? I'm 22, so and you're growing up also. So with the new album, do you, like you said, you want to keep it young and sort of, but not totally careless? Is it hard to like evolve musically and then also sort of keep the fan base happy and like that sort of?
It's hard to grow at a pace that makes sense. 'Cause sometimes you feel like you're here and you want to get over there, but it's like there's all this ground. You can't just go surprise, and you have to naturally get there and naturally grow and learn. And sometimes you get a little impatient. I think that's a hard thing, because sometimes it's like, well, what am I gonna, how am I gonna get from point A to C without? It's like sometimes you're just like, I just want to get there now. But patience is a virtue. It's important to be patient, and you learn along the way. And sometimes you'll change your mind. So it's like, oh, I'm glad I didn't do that, because I would have changed my mind 2 weeks later. But
and do you think the book helps with that, with like showing the growth a little bit towards?
I think so. I think people get a better understanding of, I guess, my mind and how I look at how I view life generally, in the book. So I think the book's about being what I'm trying to get with the book is just trying to stay real, trying to stay true to how you are and how you live life. And that's what I want the music to be. I want to let people know it's important to just, instead of trying to impress the cool crowds and trying to give a false impression so people can like you, I think the best way people can connect to you is by being real. And I feel like I've learned that just from trying to be myself, because it's like, why try and be something I'm not that's not honest, and I don't want to deceive people because I don't know. But
that's
yeah. So when people, and to see that people still respect you for who you are, it means a lot. And it just shows that it's like, just because you're afraid to be yourself at first, it's like when you try to live your life right and try to work hard and try to show respect to other people, people will give that same respect to you. And I think that's really neat to see. And so, instead of trying to, be cool and say, well, if I do this, people will like me and I'll be cool and stuff, just say, you know what, I'm going to just try and do what's right. And I'm just going to try and work hard and see, and just keep trying to move forward in life. And people will have respect for you for that.
I don't want to be, so you don't really, I don't want to like, yeah, this
We're
is,
enjoying watching.
I know.
I know.
Gabby and David on
No,
Something
you're
Pitchy.
good. You ask
Do you
really
want me
good
to-
questions.
What?
Do you want me to go? No, you can go. Go.
Oh,
No,
no,
go. I'm
if you have
teasing
more
you.
questions, oh
No,
my
go.
God. No, I actually, he was making fun of me because I printed it out because this may be my favorite thing I've ever read in my entire life. Do you know what I'm talking about?
One of your famous tweets.
One of your tweets.
Oh.
It's like the best thing ever.
Oh man.
So I was wondering if you would, as a birthday present, if you would
Oh,
record
man.
it.
Give us
What?
a dramatic
If
reading.
you would give a dramatic reading, please.
You have to, if you can see the time, it was 4:30 in the morning.
Which is even better.
Which is what were you doing awake
So-
at 4:30 in the morning?
Did you
Trying
read
to
the
sleep.
tweet? Did you
It
read
was,
the
like,
tweet? It
freaky,
explains
those
everything
cats.
about it.
So
That's
read
the first thing, by the way. If you Google David Archuleta Twitter, that is the first thing that comes up.
Really?
Now our audience doesn't know what we're talking
100%.
about.
Oh my gosh,
Now you've
that's
got to
funny.
explain this tweet and say it
Well,
aloud.
It
I
needs
was
no
just trying to
explanation.
sleep,
It
and
needs no
there were these
explanation.
cats screaming outside, fighting. And I was like, what the heck is that? But it was cats. And so I was just like, ugh. I was trying to sleep, but they were just like, I don't know what was going on outside. But.
Yeah, the follow-up was pretty good, too. There was, like, one right after where you kind of tried to explain. It was like, no, it didn't need an explanation. It's completely poetry on its
Oh,
own.
that's funny. Oh, that's crazy.
I like our society now, though, that we wake up to cats, and the first thing we think to do is, like, tweet about it.
I know.
Like,
Tweet.
what are we
I
going to do
know, what is
awake?
our
I guess
world
I'll
coming
just tweet
to?
about where I am and what's happened to me. We all do it.
I
It's
know.
not just you.
That's
Yeah.
true. Did I just ruin any chances of us being best friends because I showed you that?
Oh, it's
It's
I mean,
fine.
it's- I mean, yeah, it's funny because I forgot about that. So it's funny to.
The internet will never forget.
Never forget. The
It's
internet
almost
never
been a
forgets.
year. It'll be a year on the 15th of this month.
You should have a anniversary tweet.
A Hush Cats
I know.
anniversary.
I'll probably be sleeping. Actually, I'll be sleeping around there.
You maybe set it. There's got to be like a program you can set the tweet to
I
go.
wonder if that was the same night. No, never mind. Anyway.
I don't know how to follow that, but I'll try. Starting to
Sorry.
wrap it up. You were at the Idol finale. You took part in the Simon Cowell farewell tribute. I was curious. I mean, he's obviously leaving. Do you think the show can continue to be as strong without him?
It's gonna be interesting without Simon because
Mhm.
he was such a part of the show and he was such a part of the reason why people watched.
Yeah.
But all in all, American Idol is not about what is Simon gonna say. I
Mhm.
mean, maybe it is for a lot of people, but the real point of the show, and I think the real reason why people have been so drawn into it is that they watch people go from one point, from whatever they're doing in normal life to suddenly coming, having this bridge, American Idol, and make it to the other side, coming out with all this support from fans and performing and millions of people now knowing who you are
Mhm.
and being able to release an album and release music, go on tour and do all that stuff. It's just, I think people really, it's amazing because it's the people watching who vote
Mhm.
and they're the ones who decide who's going to get those opportunities. And so it's really, they're really, like Simon said that night, it's like they're the judges.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are voting and they're the ones who are deciding who's going to go through.
Mhm.
So that's the magic of American Idol.
Yeah. I'm actually going to give Ray closing remarks because I know you've been quiet over there.
I'm like,
you're burning.
Now
you've just been observing.
Archie question.
No, it's like this is actually just an idle and general question because we've kind of been doing our Something Pitchy podcast all season, and we've been kind of like the negative side. We've been really down on it. Did you watch the season? How did you feel being kind of an alumni? Did you feel like the season was as low as a lot of people thought, or were you liking it?
I was enjoying it. I mean, I didn't get to watch all of the episodes.
Yeah.
But the ones I watched, it was fun. You get nervous for them still, and because it's like it brings back memories. And, it was really fun getting to go to the finale.
Yeah.
And I think Lee just had this constant progress that people loved, and to see how nervous he really was. It's like it was cool to see that. Hey, he's made it this far and he's still nervous. It's great, and it's gonna be great to still see him progress, because I remember even after the end of Idol, I was afraid to really move around on stage during the Idol tour, and even during my first my first solo tour, I was afraid of like getting into. There's a song called Zero Gravity. I was afraid of moving around. I was like, I feel weird just moving around on stage. I feel like an idiot. But by the end of the tour, I was jumping around. And just getting into it and having a blast. And so there's still growth that you have after the show, and it's going to be great to see Lee continue growing. And Crystal's great too. She didn't win, but she really, that finale, she really poured her heart out, and you can tell that she's really passionate about this, and she really wants to do music because she loves it so much.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to close with we've been talking a lot about Twitter, so I'm going to close with a question from Twitter. Kim AK wants to know that when your CD does come out, are you planning on going on tour again?
I am. Ooh. Yeah. Excited. That will be, tour always comes with an album release, and I'm excited to go back on the road. It's fun being able to do these book signings. I had the first one yesterday, and it was fun to see everyone.
Yeah.
And it just, because sometimes it can be tiring, because it's all very, very mental and emotionally,
draining.
Yeah. There you go. Just because it involves a lot of your brain, and just kind of keeping yourself in a certain state with your interaction with people, and because there's so many people you're meeting for the first time, or some people are second, third, or then there's some people who are more than that, but most of them are like
this
just
one over here.
most of them it's just your first time meeting them, so it's like being really invested in them, and just at least getting to see their face when they're rushing them, and trying to hear their name, and hearing what they have to say. It's it's like it's having that energy of meeting someone for the first time constantly, so it's been an interesting thing to go through and learn, and just try to do well, because all those people are coming to see you, and it's like, wow. So it's neat to be able to go through that and see them, and see how they're excited about what you're working on, and it a lot of that interaction is a big part of what motivates you to do what you do. So having had a hiatus from, interacting with fans, and, it's, you try to get different motivations, and, you try to see, okay, what is it that I want to do? But when it's just fun to see them again, and get to see how much they're enjoying it and responding to it, and see how excited they are for something you've worked so hard on. It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I thank you so much for taking the time to stop by Something Pitchy for Gabby, Ray, and myself. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll be seeing you soon. Bye.